Thank you. Welcome to part 8 with programming with Blitz Basic. In this one we're going to be going over types, which is here's what we worked on last time, and how to combine them with functions. So this video is going to be probably a little tough. I already started creating the function. I'm going to call it shoot. So type this in right here, or call it whatever you want. And this is going to shoot the bullet, and what we're going to do is we're not going to include this function into here. We're not going to put it right here like we did with other ones. We're actually going to put it inside the controls. So let's set that up right now. So whatever you want to shoot, or whatever button you want to use for shooting, if key hit, unless you want it to be a laser, I'm going to make it the space bar. And like I said, it's been a little while, so I forget which one is space bar. So let's add that to our constants and reference. It's going to come back to me once you push the space bar. 57. You know, doesn't ring any bells. Completely forgot. And I'll also teach you how to include source files. Let's go over that today at the end of this video, so that way you know how to work with partners and stuff. If they have different source codes, you know how to combine all your source codes into one. What we're working on right here, all this code, it's known as a source code file. So if you have two of them dealing with the same game, you can combine them and add them into one game. Or if you have similar controls in each game, you can always use that same source code. A lot of it also deals with what is that called, an engine. Right now we're kind of creating the game engine, and you can always use that game engine for other games. Just switch out the images and maybe switch out the plot and all that good stuff. Alright, so let's move on. Let's get a little more serious. Okay, so I have my folder right here, and I believe this is the bullet. And man, it is small too. Can't even see it. But I'm sure in the game you can see it just fine. I might have to change the color. So let's load that up when we need it, and we're gonna put it. I don't want it. That's on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna actually zoom out because it seems like this font, it seems to do just fine. You're able to see it. If you're having trouble seeing it, just tell me and I'll zoom in for my next video. But it just gets annoying when it's all fat. You have to look for stuff. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep it short. P bullet, load image, and I forget what I called it. I think it's bullet 1. Bullet 1. And I have a bullet 2. And now, if I remember correctly, in the original game, you can actually get better weapons by collecting certain items. So here's the second bullet, and then the third one I believe was the laser. So okay, so let's put that in. Let's not have a subtraction sign, and let's spell this right. Okay. Bullet 1 PNG. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to mask any of those images either. They're all fine as they are. Okay. So we're gonna do the for command for we can call it PB. And I'm not gonna go over this because I already went over all this stuff in another video. So if you don't understand what everything is, I do go into depth with what it is in another video. So please watch that one, because working with types takes a whole bunch of explanation, a whole bunch of time. Going over it again will just waste a lot more time. This one particular video. Alright, so every time we bring a bullet onto the screen, we want to draw that bullet, so I called it P bullet. And how do we want to do this? Oh yeah, right, working with types. You want to type it in like this. X. Because remember, we included these field variables right here. And this is actually going to be the image. Okay. I just realized I actually put this inside the wrong function. So let's actually take that out. And we're going to create another function. This, I forgot, the shoot function is actually going to be doing something else. I'm sorry. Let's call this bullet with an S. Make sure there's an S, or else it's going to get confused with other bullet functions we've been using too much. too many functions, so little time. Okay, there we go. So it should look something like that right here. And I'm gonna put this right above here for right now. And this one we do have to include in the loop. Completely forgot that you need to declare what it does before you actually create it. Okay, so what this one's going to do is every time you push the space bar, it's going to create bullets. And just keep this function down here. So the space bar is hit. You want to do something like this. It's been a while since I've done this, so I just hope I do this properly the first time. Okay, that for sure is right. And instead of having to write this 100 times, you only need to write it once thanks to this function right here. So I'll show you what this is going to do in a second, so just give me 1 minute. Alright. Okay. Basically, this is going to create a new bullet every time the spacebar is pushed. So right here, let's just put in shoot. So every time you push the spacebar through this function, right here, it's going to create a bullet, and it's going to use this right here. It's going to be kind of confusing, but I'll actually draw a diagram and post it right after this part of the video. So you kind of understand what's going on, but let's just type it up right now. When you shoot a bullet, you want it to kind of equal your position. So the PB/X will equal player X, and the PB/Y equal player Y. Now, if you wonder where I'm getting this PLX and PLY, remember that's the player X and player Y. So when you shoot it, it's going to go straight to the player X and player Y. Okay. So that's all set. Here we want to tell. This is actually the bullet instructions right here. So let's type that in. So whatever happens inside this area, let's indent this so actually that way makes sense. Okay. Okay, so anything in here, that's what the bullets are going to do. We're going to follow these instructions. So we want the bullets to go upwards. So PB/Y equals PB/Y. And how fast do we want this to go? Maybe pretty fast. Maybe 8 faster than you can go. So if you run it, I got it. Image doesn't exist. That's right. Whoops. Because I need to declare what the image looks like down here. So my mistake. P-bullet is right. See right here, we're looking for what it looks like right here. And it's actually a type, a field type. It's not the actual image. This is the actual image right here. I bet you that's kind of confusing, but like I said, if you watch my other video on types, I go more in depth. Oh, I'm making the bullets go downwards. Small mistake. Right there. We got some bullets to shoot. One problem though, they're just gonna completely slow down your program because basically what's going on is they're not deleting. They're actually way above the screen, way off the screen, still going too. So in order to get rid of them, the best thing to do is actually start another for command with the exact same heading and everything. And then next. This is so you avoid getting any type of errors or it still creating bullets and deleting them at a high pace. But basically what you want to do is when the bullet goes off screen, you want to delete it. So if PB/X becomes equal or less than, let's see, what do we want to make it? Maybe I always like to make it kind of outside the box, outside the screen. We can't see it. That way it gives it a chance to keep on going for a little while. Actually, you know what? A little bit smaller than that, 'cause it's right. It'll start hitting enemies that are already off the screen. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, and then we'll delete the bullet, the type, and we'll exit this so it doesn't keep on looking for that. And so let's look at it. Oh, wrong one. I'm sorry. There we go, the PV. So there we go. One thing you'll notice is it's coming off from the wing. We don't really want that. The cool thing though, it's coming off as if it's like a little above the ship, which is what I kind of want, not down here or anything. So we're going to move the bullet over to the center of the ship. In order to do that, you just divide the dimensions of the image by 2. So mine's on the X side is 34, so divide that by 2 would actually become 17, I believe. So all you do is just do this plus 17. Is that right? Yeah, it is 17. So that should shoot right from the center of my ship. There we go. Nice and beautiful. I think that's the speed of my bullets. I can't really remember. Alright, so there you go. And there's, oh, excuse me. There's shooting bullets. See, you just need to put in this instead of having to type in all this inside there. So if you want other buttons to actually shoot a bullet, if you want like, 2 buttons to be able to shoot the bullets, instead of having to retype all this stuff right here, you just need to type in this little shoot part. So there we go. This shoots the bullets. And then this part right here actually creates the bullets. And this one deletes the bullets. That's what all these do. So this creates it. This creates and draws it. This shoots it. Oh, you know what? I have it wrong. This actually draws it. I'm getting everything confused. Draws the bullets. This actually does create it. This creates new ones. So every time you push the shoot bar, it goes down here. Okay. And one last thing I want to go over is, oh yeah, includes. But real fast, this is what we're kind of heading towards. Let's go run this real fast. This is what the game should look like. Basically, randomly, these little meteors or asteroids, whatever you want to call them, fall from the sky, and you gotta avoid them and shoot them. And come on, there we go. It actually keeps track of these ones of how much damage you give it, because you're in this game, if I remember properly, your gun does get stronger. So pretty fun game. If you see a red one, it means you got hit, so I'm getting hit. Remember, different size rocks give you different hits of damage. Down here it tells the rock's health. So basically these things die in one hit. And the bigger asteroids end up falling over time. So the game's actually really, really fun. I really like it, and I'm really excited to really show you more of how to make a game just like this. And I hope you guys are having just as much fun as I'm having fun teaching. Oh, the bigger rock just has a little bit more health. See, there's the health right there. Takes, I think, 3 hits. Oh, look at that. Yeah, 3 hits. Alright, guys. Let's see, what do I want you... Oh, no, real fast. Includes. That's right. Okay, let's create a new source file. Cut this right here. Paste all your constants right here. So all I did was just take the constants from the top that used to be right there. Save this in the same directory, so save as. And I'm going to call this one constants. Save. Alright. Right here, type in include constants.bb. There. Now the reason why you'd want to do this is because basically your constants will always be exactly the same. They're always going to be, escape always be 1. There's no way changing it. So instead of always having to retype this for each program, why not just include it in all your programs? So there you go. Best thing to do is probably put in all the constants with easy to remember names like up key, down key, right key, space bar, A key, F key, C key, all the good stuff, YMCA key or whatever you want to call them, and always stick by the same declarations. Like I do, I always keep space bar, always keep right key, and so there you go. Really easy to do, and if you're wondering where it is, here it is, my constants. I can open it up in the separate Blitz basic folder, program, and there it is. All that stuff. So there you go, and in the next video, I hope to go over creating the enemies, make them fall randomly, and that's where functions will really become pretty handy. For the shooting, it's just like, you know, a basic thing, because now the program's just gonna work on its own. When creating enemies, that's where everything's kind of custom. It's all up to you. So creating functions for the enemy asteroids or rocks, or whatever the heck they are, space rocks. I like to call them space rocks since I'm not really much of a scientist. Uh, it really helps instead of having to really retype absolutely everything for each level. Uh, Working with functions is much easier. And this is just a basic idea of what functions can do. They can do so much more, a lot more. In fact, you can type in like variable names up here that it collects or looks for. That's why there's these brackets. Right now, it's not really looking for anything. It's just uh, creating a command and applying it to the program. So basically, what we went over today is just basically using a function inside a function. So here's a function right here, and there's a function inside that function. So inside the controls function, we included the shoot function. You should be proud of yourself.